It's that time for my favorite video of the month, and that is ranking all of my eyeshadow palettes that I've worn over the last month here. I'm a little late on it, sorry, but we are going to talk all about the palettes that I wore in the month of February. So if that interests you, stick around and we'll dive right on into it. So welcome guys, this is my monthly video that I do. I was trying to decide, could I still keep this in my repertoire, but it is a favorite, so I can't give it up. We're just gonna keep on going with it. So what I do is I take all of the palettes I've worn over the last month and I attempt to rank them in order from least favorite to favorite. It is really hard because I have so many favorites. They're all my babies, and trying to rank favorites is like trying to rank my kids. Fuzzy and non-fuzzy ones included. But anyway, somehow we do it. And of course, over the month of February, think about what season we were in. There's a lot of pink and red. So overall, you're probably going to notice the mood I was in was definitely Valentine's Day. So reds and pinks, romantic, all of that. And of course, those are my favorite colors anyway. Pink is my favorite color. So already a spoiler alert, there's a lot of pink. All right, so let's go ahead and start digging into it. We'll talk about why I've ranked each one the way I did, and you'll get a feel for what my preferences are, just colors that I love, types of looks that I love. It may differ from yours. I factor in all kinds of things, the quality of the formula, but a lot of times it's just what I tend to wear, like my wearable looks and my style. If it's handy for travel, is it too bulky, like all those things. I kind of try to factor all of that into it. So we always start off almost every month with the same palette because this one is more functional. I use it for eyeliner most of the time. Every now and then it makes a smoky eyeshadow look, but I usually use this as my eyeliner because it's just so easy and practical. I don't know, are we ever going to pan this? I'm not sure. It might take a long time, but it just has all those perfect shades in it. So if you've been around here for this video, you're used to seeing this one. It's the Colourpop Down to Earth. I rank it last just because there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just because it's really more functional. I use it for eyeliner. So it's going to be boring compared to like all the other palettes we talk about. But yeah, so this is usually my eyeliner. I every now and then will use like a liquid liner for a wing or others that I'm trying out. But for the most part, I tend to just use formulas from my eyeshadows to make my eyeliner wing and bottom and all of that. It's just easier to work with, to kind of diffuse and make soft. I don't do a lot of really huge, bold looks with my eyeliner, so it's kind of easier for my everyday, and it lasts because it's more of a dry formula, all of that, mature skin eyes, you name it. Okay, next one. Now, this is technically not a palette, sorry guys. If it's kind of more of like an eyeshadow look, I still include it just to show you guys the different looks on the different days that I've used it. And so if it's even something like this that's more of an eyeshadow stick, I'm still kind of including it. Even like my single shadows, I'm including. So this is the Rare Beauty eyeshadow stick. We got this in Ipsy, I think. And this is the shade Contentment. And I really like this shade, but it was kind of boring. I mean, it's actually a shade I'll usually use, but I just have it ranked behind everything else because it was just a really good month for eyeshadow palettes. And so there was just only so much I want to do with it. I mean, it'll be fabulous for travel. I did like how it blended, but it probably wasn't a favorite eyeshadow stick, to be honest with you. I love Rare Beauty products, but this one wasn't really a favorite. It didn't stand out. I have another eyeshadow stick I did use that I loved that we'll talk about later. You have to stay tuned for that, where it ranks in the rankings. But overall, this one kind of fell, I don't know, kind of towards the end here. And next, okay, it was the month of February, so of course you would expect pink, 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 pink. So this is Violet Voss Berries and Cream Dreams, and it just has those bright pink, Barbie pink colors in it. Typically, you might think, oh, Cher would love this. This is a Cher palette, but it's so much bright pink, and there's not a lot of light options. I've got to have the light options in these kind of palettes, guys. I have to have not peach light shades. They need to be more like on the white tone to go with these kind of cooler tone pinks, in my opinion. and there's just nothing that matches that. So I think what it is that I've got to be all in and committed to wearing bright pink on my eyes, which I rarely do. I'm more of a soft pink girl. Like, I like bright pink if it's going to be more of a transition shade or the outer shade or something, or if we're just going for a straight up Barbie look one day. But for my everyday wearable, I like soft romantic pinks, and this palette does not give you that. It gives you bright Barbie pink, or it gives you more like creamy, like creamsicle shades, and nothing in between. So while I like this palette and it was appropriate for Valentine's Day, I just feel like not gonna rank high for me for every day. In fact, I've almost decluttered this palette before. All right, next one is the REM Beauty. This is the Baby Doll palette. I have really loved this. I don't mean to rank it so high because it really works as a great palette for me for an everyday look, for travel. I actually like the formula. I've seen other people rank it much lower, but I like it just as a great versatile, just your everyday. And I like the cute packaging. It's cute. It's great. It's just compared to all the other palettes I'm going to talk about today and the looks, it's just kind of boring compared to them is all. Next, I ended up getting this in my Colourpop mystery box. It was the Valentine's mystery box, and it was like all red and pink in that box. Mostly pink, and it was an amazing box. But they did have this that kind of stood out, which was completely different. It's the Aura and Out palette, but I thought it was still fitting because it was taking you into the spring, in my opinion, and I thought it would be a great one to wear in the spring and maybe even St. Patty's Day. And so I did make a really fun, like minty greeny, bluey look with it. So perfect, I think, for Easter and spring. I think it's just right now I'm not there yet. And I don't typically wear these bright colors all the time. I know I'm a little bright today, but I was trying this out. But so it was really cute, and I think I'm gonna love it come like Easter, especially, but not an everyday for me. Then we have the Ace Beauty Mystic Romance palette. I had gotten this last year around Valentine's Day in the Ipsy, like BoxyCharm, I think maybe, and I think it is really, really pretty, and a lot of people were so excited for it because it's definitely romantic looking, and it was perfect for Valentine's Day, and I did indeed wear this either on Valentine's Day or for my Valentine's Day date, and now I can't remember which. Anyway, I wore it for one of my Valentine's looks, and I really love it, but I'll be honest with you, I always make the same looks with it when I'm going for like a Valentine's look. And so I'm limited on what I can create with this because, again, it keeps going back to that whole, like, I don't have a lot of lighter shimmer tones, and I've got to have the lighter ones for like my lid or inner corners. And there's nothing cool toned for that other than this one, but that's still sort of creamy colored. So I always end up using like this as my light shimmer, or you've got like purple that doesn't go with the red, or like silver that it's just not the looks I want to make. And so I think that's the only thing is that I always feel very limited. I always make the same look with this. So I love that look, that one look. It pops and it's fabulous. Or if I wanted to do like some purples, I would use this. But for the most part, I honestly don't reach for it a lot because of that limited factor. All right, and then I have my good old Tartelette in Bloom from Tarte. This is just your like basic girl, I hate to say it, but all the neutrals. It's so pretty and it makes fabulous looks. I'm very attached to it because it was like probably like my first bridal palette that I used in bridal makeup. Now I save it for me and use it for personal use. It will always be kind of up there as nostalgic and one that I'll probably always keep. So I always love it. I mean, it makes a lot of great looks, but it's probably boring to most because lots of neutrals and stuff. So I kind of have it ranked like in the middle because I still love it, but not the most exciting probably compared to all the other ones I have to talk about. Now, this brings me to what I'm wearing today, and that is the Nomad Cosmetics Polar Express palette. I had really wanted this when it came out, but of course we're not in winter right now, so I know I'm like out of season for it, but I just got it from my friend Mela. I cannot believe she sent this to me, and I am so excited about it. So of course I had to try it out. So that is what I have on at the moment. And gosh, why do I have this ranked lower? The only reason I have it ranked lower is probably just because I'm just not there right now. I don't wear a ton of blue, but man, when I do, that's gorgeous, isn't it? I also would just say this is like the top shimmer I would go for is that white. I'm always like a white shimmer girl, and I'm not super crazy about the formula on that one. Like I felt like it was kind of speckly instead of being a little bit smooth in like a buttery blend or something. But overall, it's not bad on the formula here. I just love these like more pewter type shades. The shades that I have on, I went with that on my base. And then I have this a little bit on the sides too, and that is gorgeous. And a little pop of that mixed with the dark blue, just a touch in the corner, and then that white one as the base. I think it's just that white one that's throwing me off, so I need to play with a couple of the others. Overall, I love this. So honestly, like I would rank it very high. I mean, I would rate it very high. It's just not falling as high up as a lot of these other ones because I love these other ones just that much. And because of just where I'm at in the season, I'm not into light blues as much right now. I mean, you could think of spring a little bit, but this screams Polar Express more than it does spring. You know what I mean? So it's just that I'm just not there. Next, I just did a full review on the brand new Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I was so excited when I saw this come out. I did give a little more negative review on it though, because it just wasn't what I was expecting. It's a lot more peachy toned, and I really wanted true pinks, you know? And so I also felt like it was a little monotone, just didn't feel like I could do as much with it. Again, it always comes down to these light shimmer shades, y'all. I need shades that are like true white or a little touch of silver, like more cool toned, lighter shades. And all the lighter ones are peachy. Everything's kind of peachy. And then you're a little bit of rose, but they're really only in those darker, like deeper shades. I need lighter shades too to go with my darker ones. So for me, like it wasn't as great as I had hoped and was expecting, but it's always an excellent formula when it's Natasha Denona. It's always beautiful. I mean, like it was beautiful, and I definitely loved the looks I made, especially the lighter one that was more light pink. Like that's right up my alley. That's exactly what I like to make, is those very soft glam is what I call it. I'm a soft glam, soft romantic girl. So, and I just didn't feel like I could make enough soft glam looks with this unless I want to go really peach soft glam. And I have plenty of peach already. So this is ranking not as like high up as it could have been, I'm afraid. All right, my next one is another one that my Mela sent to me, and this is from Alter Ego, the Coastal palette. Now, Alter Ego tends to dupe other palettes, so this is my first Alter Ego palette actually, and this is duping the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. It is so pretty, isn't it? I mean, it really feels like I've got Huda Beauty in my hands right here. It is gorgeous. Now, it made a lot of like pink looks, which I'm so thrilled with because I love pink. I really loved this palette, and I felt like it did wear very well, like probably as good as Huda's formula, honestly. So if you want to save some money, go with Alter Ego on some of these. I'd say the only thing is that a lot of these colors like look different in the pan than they do on your face. And so a lot of them were the same shades in my opinion, and kind of giving some of the same looks, but I haven't played with it enough really to judge that. So I really loved it. I just have so many palettes to get to you guys to talk about that are above it. It's hard to rank all these. We had so many good ones this month. Okay, now I know it's weird that I'm ranking this higher than some of these like gorgeous pinks and fun ones, like with lots and lots of shades and colors than I normally do. But I don't know. I really love this palette. Like, This is my ultimate luxury travel palette, in my opinion. This is the Natasha Denona. I think it was the Rosenwood. Now, I just saw my friend Alicia declutter this and she hated the formula, but sometimes we differ on what we look for in a formula, I think. And I was like, what? I love this. But I don't like, you can only make like 2 looks with it, you know, so it's not like it's terribly versatile and all that. I think it's just that it makes this really nice, like, rose gold look. And I love the formula on it. And I love this packaging. I just feel like it is more luxurious looking than her other ones and her other minis. And so it's such a good one for me to take if I'm going to travel and I just want something that's a great, like, everyday look. This is the kind of looks I would make all the time as like your neutrals and maybe a little towards the pink more. They just kind of go with like everything. So I really ranked it up there because I really love this one. So we have another one from Mela that just came in, and that's the Colourpop Flutterby. Isn't that so pretty with the butterflies? This is definitely spring, Easter. This is your lilacs and lavenders, soft purples. Oh my goodness, guys. Ugh. I love this palette. I wore it with white, and honestly, a lot more of the pink was coming out on my eyes. So like it can kind of make some soft pinks and some soft purples. And so for me, it's just such an ultimate. So I love pinks, but I also love this shade of purple. So perfect. So yes, I just felt, and I honestly feel like the blend in Colourpop sometimes on these kind of palettes, they are just as good as some of these really high-end ones that will make like a light purple. Like I would say I might even have liked this better than some of Huda's lighter purple shades in her formula, honestly. So absolutely love this palette. This I'm going to be wearing a lot. All right, next one. This might surprise you. I rank it so high and I still just really love this and I reach for it as kind of my ultimate travel palette. It's the Too Faced Shake Your Pom Poms. I think it's because it has everything in it. This is a share palette, like share colors, because for me, like my ultimate palette's got to have soft pinks and it's got to have soft neutrals. Now it does have a little pop of green, which is a really cool one too, that honestly, green has been warming up to me if it's in like a really fun shimmer that's still very subtle enough to almost be neutral, like that rustier green. I do actually really like too. And this just has all of that. So it has both my neutrals and my pinks especially. It has the perfect, this is the light pink shimmer that I need in every pink palette. Every one of them, okay? It needs this shimmer right here. And you'll notice it's gonna get panned first. This is what every palette has got to have for me to get a good ranking. And this one has it with that pretty pink there and a nice neutral. Like these 3 colors or like these 4 are perfect for share. This is the ultimate, like the colors I need in every palette. But then I can do this as my deep corner, a gold as well if I want to just go a lot more neutral, warm tone on a certain day. So this is just such a perfect mix. I love Too Faced's formula still. I do. I love Too Faced. So this is like an ultimate just OG perfect palette for me. And it's perfect for like travel, compact, and I love the packaging on it. And it's very Florida flamingos, palm trees, and I live in Florida. It's, you know, the tropical shake your pom-poms. So I love it. Okay, now we get to the other eyeshadow pen or like, you know, more of a, you know, all one shade basically. This is more like eyeshadow topper. But honestly, like I could just wear it completely by itself, or you could pair it with something like the Colourpop and use like this as a darker like edge, you know, but for the most part, oh my gosh, this makes the most stunning champagne, gorgeous topper color. Love, love, loved it. It's from Doll 10, and this was in the Doll 10 Valentine's mystery box. Absolutely love this shade. You see that this is ranking above a lot of the palettes, like full-blown palettes with tons of colors in it. But man, all I need is this. This is gorgeous. And so absolutely, this was probably my favorite product out of that doll tin box. Like, love this. It's gorgeous. Now, out of all the palettes that Mela sent me so far that I've tried, I haven't gotten to all of them yet, but out of all of them, this is my favorite of all. This is so adorable. And I want to show you the packaging too. You're going to see it in the unboxing as well if this video isn't, if this video airs before that unboxing. Here's how it comes. It's the Moira Endless Moonlight. Okay, Celestial Series palette, but check out how it has like the angel wings on it. How fun is that? So I'm definitely keeping the box just because of those wings, but check out these colors too. Is that not so gorgeous? This reminds me so much of the P. Louise formula and packaging, like that embossing on everything. And these metallics and cooler tones are so perfect. And it is really hard to find this mix of the right colors, but then you've got some warm ones in there too. They're warmer, but done in almost like a cool tone way. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but everything is just that perfect, like subtle metallic-y finish. And so I did give it a spin, loved the formula, loved the look it made. Love this palette. I am going to be playing with this. Oh my gosh, I love it. And I'm going to keep the packaging. It's gorgeous. Okay, so you guys that have been around have been familiar with this one that I really loved from Ciate London. It is I Am Woman Volume 2. I Am Woman, What's Your Power Volume 2. Okay, so this is the ultimate share palette for me as far as colors, stories go. I just love this palette, the colors in it and all, because it does have just the perfect pinks and maroons. Like, that did remind me a little bit of some of what Natasha Denona had going on with her more cool tone ones like these. But then it has some purples. But then it also has just your perfect like neutral colors too. And it has these rusty, kind of cooler tone, like metallic-y almost finish, similar to what we were just discussing before. Like all of these I'm so drawn to. And then I've been able to create the prettiest like soft pink. I think it's that shade there. When you mix it with like a couple of these more rose tones and then you pop on the perfect shimmer, like it makes this gorgeous soft glam look that I go for. And there's just so much I feel like I can do with this palette. It's a lot more versatile in my opinion. Over time, the formula, I think over time I'm seeing some people, it's kind of one of those like love it or hate it. Like some people don't like the Ciate London formulas. And I do. It's definitely not a buttery formula. So I think that's what it is it's not buttery, but it's not like super dry. Like I wouldn't say it's like Laura Geller dry, but it doesn't have the indie brand butter that a lot of people look for. But I actually kind of like it because it has like that perfect mix of a powdery, chalkier finish. So for me, it's like easier to work with, but it's not so dried out that it's just ugh, and horrible fallout and that kind of stuff. Like I do see what people are saying. It's not your ultra buttery one. And that's honestly probably better for my aging eyes. Like I don't always do as well with the really extra buttery. Like it goes on great, but then over time it starts melting off and it doesn't last and it shifts too much if it's too buttery in my opinion. So I really like it. Still love this palette, but there's a lot more higher up too that we're going to talk about. All right, next I wore the Makeup by Mario Moonlight Ethereal Eyes palette, and this continues to be such a gorgeous palette. I do like his formula. On this one, I like it much better than in the matte one. And I think it's these three right here. The shimmers in this are so gorgeous. They're like this just very subtle, but like silky, sparkling in the moonlight shimmers. They're gorgeous. But the palette does run very blue toned. Even the ones that don't look blue are blue. So I have to be prepared for a very cool tone look when I wear it. And I think when I wore it, I don't think I even went as cool blue tone, but So I do love it, but it has to be saved for the right occasion. Okay, I next have ranked the Huda Beauty Sweet Escapes palette. And every time I wear this, it's another favorite. Like we got an Ipsy, but Huda Beauty has probably been my top favorite thing to get from Ipsy, like palette wise. It is just so pretty. And this is definitely perfect coming up for spring. And I think I wore again the pinks out of it. I always am drawn to like that right there. But I love that color too, like the purples in it, and occasionally the yellows that are like the perfect subtle hint of yellow, but not like bright crazy yellow. So this just continues to be such a pretty palette, and I'm probably gonna be reaching for it a lot more here come spring. Okay, we are getting to like the very tippity top here. I'm in the top 7, and this is where I probably spent 30 minutes trying to decide between these 7 and how to rank them because I love them all. And it's just so hard. But I think part of it is kind of thinking about where we're at, and it's been February. So I've been in like my full-blown pink era. So coming in at number 7 is going to be the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. I wore this more when I was doing, actually I didn't even wear it. I used it on my assistant Betsy. So I'm still going to include it in here. We did it as part of the video for the Bloom palette because I wanted to compare the Bloom to this because it just reminded me a lot of this, but more in pinks. So I did a comparison video. There were definitely some similarities between this one and Bloom. This one's obviously a little more on the copper side. I have ranked this as like my number 1 before, I think. It's been up there at the top of my rankings, and it's been above a lot of her other palettes even. It's still a favorite. I think it's just not where I'm at right now because I'm in my pink mode, and this is a little too coppery from where I'm at. But when I am in my copper mode, usually in the fall, maybe end of summer, I don't know, like this is just an amazing palette to me. I still absolutely love it. I love how it looks on me. I think it's very flattering on me and my like skin tones and all. But it's just so hard to, I don't know, it has slipped a little bit in my rankings. And then this one has slipped too, and y'all are going to be surprised. And I think, again, I think it's just that I've been leaving the winter mode. I'm not as into the icy looks right now. I've been into February, and I'm starting to think about spring. Now, this could still work in spring, but it's the Icy Nude palette from Huda Beauty. And you guys know this was like my top number 1 for a couple months there, and I was so in love with it. Definitely, it will still work for spring. I'm just not reaching for it as much as I was in the winter. So I think that's all it is but it's so beautiful, isn't it? The frosty, just perfect winter palette for sure. But I'm just not into building snowmans right now. Not that I was, snowmen, I mean, not that I was before because I live in Florida, but we did have our snow time here, like record breaking, and it was amazing. I'm just not feeling it right now because that's not where I'm at. Similarly, the Pretty Grunge palette as well. This one was like my number 2 last month, I think, and I had just picked it up at the Black Friday sale. I still absolutely love this palette. It's going to be up there as one of my favorites of all, but it definitely makes more grunge, more cool tone, like looks, more purples. It makes a lot of purples, like soft purples or deeper ones a little, and smoky, like blacks and whites. So, I just haven't been reaching for it as much as my pretty pinks and soft romantic looks, I guess. I mean, you can still do a lot of romantic things with this. It just slipped a little, but still love it so much. And then the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, which again, I haven't worn it this month, but I put it on Betsy for also a comparison with the Bloom palette. There was a lot of similarities with it too, because this one runs so peach in my opinion also, but this is one of my top palettes of all the champagne colors in it. It's the perfect champagne colors when I want that. And it's so like, yeah, I love this palette. It is a top 1 of all time for me. It's not as high though as a few more though, only because it's just the champagnes and peaches, and I've been wanting to do more pink. So we've got a few ranking above this, believe it or not. This was number 4. Coming in at number 3, the new Colourpop one that I got in my Valentine's mystery box, Lost in Love. And you will understand when you see all this pink. This is beautiful. And this is a share palette. This kind of pink right here, this cool tone pink, not peachy pink. Okay. Do you hear that, Natasha Denona? Cool tone. Take note. So yes, this is so beautiful. This is what I wanted to wear for Valentine's Day. And oh my gosh, it is stunning. It is so stunning, so beautiful. And I ended up pairing it too with the like jelly topper as well. And that foil with it, to die for. Now I should kind of rank this separately and think of the palette by itself. I know, honestly, it stands alone by itself so beautifully, but then with this too, unreal. The perfect Valentine's, the perfect pink for me. Like I could wear this every day and die a happy girl. But there's still more above it, believe it or not. Coming in at number 2, the Sigma Warm Neutrals. Now, I don't know why this is named Warm Neutrals, because it's not really a very neutral palette in my opinion. It is a pink, like pink leaning rose. These are maybe your neutrals a little bit and one little pop of metallic here. But this is like pinky toned. They're warmer pinks. Perfect. It is such a gorgeous, amazing formula. This palette made me fall so in love with Sigma eyeshadow. I just beyond words. Love it. Mela gave this one to me too, and it's probably, I mean, she's given me a lot of amazing stuff, but this might be my favorite top one of all. And it was perfect for Valentine's Day month. I would wear this every day. It has the perfect light pink shimmer, the perfect matte shimmer of pink, warmer pink too, cooler pink, a little neutrals, gold. I mean, it has everything I usually want and need in the perfect palette for me, with an incredible formula. I wore it. I remember now I did wear this one for my Valentine's Day date, and then I wore this like bright pink lipstick with it, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It was going to be my number 1 because it was so perfect. However, I ended up deciding number 1 is the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. So hear me out. It has pink also. It has everything. It has this soft pink, okay? And then when paired with that, it still comes off with this pretty like soft pink look. Like you can make the soft pinks with nothing else in it, or you can just make neutrals, or you can go with these mint colors. Or I love the look of the pinks and the mints together, or the mints and the neutrals together, or the pinks and the neutrals together. Like this is just, it's so weird. It's like I had wanted this palette for a while, but I didn't know like if I would like it because I don't wear a lot of like mint colors and green colors. But when I got this in my hands, I realized every single time that I play with this palette, I feel so pretty. Like it does something to me. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the ultimate, like I don't know how to describe it. It does something to me. Like I feel so confident and pretty. And it's like I have never done a look I don't like with this palette. And so I just think I've got to rank it number 1. I reach for it and love it. And it puts me in that soft, romantic glam, even though it's like vintage vibes, you know, like it just does something to me. Okay, you don't want to hear me sing, but that song, that's what it is. It does something to me. So anyway, I'm going to have to rank it number 1. Also going to be perfect moving into spring as well. Some of these I will definitely wear in the spring. This is going to be my spring palette, no doubt. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just feeling very pinks and romantics moving into soft pastels of spring. And so I think this palette merges both perfectly. It has everything. So yeah, So yeah, things moved around and shifted this month, like in my rankings, because some things that ranked a lot higher in the past ranked a little lower and things shifted around, but that's how we're feeling this month for sure. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that and let me know if you agreed or what you would rank as your top favorite palette this month that you have worn. And if you have some of these palettes too, hopefully that helped you see some looks and ideas with them. And I always enjoy including the pictures with it too. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today. And if you want to see more eyeshadow reviews and rankings, you'll definitely want to stick around. I've been considering doing a part 2 Colourpop rankings video because I have gotten so much more Colourpop since the last one I did that I'm like, I think I just need to redo a whole nother one. So I might do that. I still have yet to rank the Jeffree Star palettes I've been promising y'all. So I need to do that too. So at some point I'll get those to you, and we will of course continue to do our monthly rankings like this. So you don't want to miss it all. You'll want to stick around here if you love you some eyeshadow palettes. I also will probably already be due for another declutter soon. So yeah, pop that subscribe button so you don't miss all of it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.